The ending of Season 3. Episode 8 doesn't just wrap up a love triangle, it leaves every character standing in a new place emotionally. Each choice Belly makes, and each reaction from Conrad and Jeremiah, shifts the balance of their relationships, forever. Let's break down what it all means for the three people at the center of this story, and the ripple effects it creates for everyone around them. Belly for Belly, this moment is a turning point. All season, she has been torn between her first love and her closest friend. And in episode 8, she finally takes a stand. By turning toward Jeremiah, she is saying something important. She no longer wants to be the girl waiting for Conrad to figure out his feelings. She doesn't want to be the second option, or the one left guessing. She wants to be chosen, fully and openly, and Jeremiah gives her that. But it's not an easy choice for her. You can see in her eyes that she still feels something deep for Conrad, something that may never completely go away. Choosing Jeremiah doesn't erase Conrad, it just means she's ready to move forward with someone who gives her stability. This decision shows Belly's growth. She's not the shy girl who only dreamed about being noticed anymore. She's someone who knows what she deserves, even if it means closing a chapter of her heart. Conrad's journey in episode 8 is heartbreaking. For 3 seasons, he has been the one Belly dreamed about, the one who had her heart without question. But his fear, his silence, and his inability to fully let her in have cost him everything. In this final scene, he finally says the words he should have said long ago, but they arrive too late. That's what makes his storyline so painful. He isn't rejected because he doesn't love Belly, he's rejected because he couldn't express it when it mattered most. The weight of regret falls on him in those last minutes. He knows he pushed her away, and now he has to watch her walk into someone else's arms. This moment forces Conrad to face the truth about himself. Love isn't just about feeling deeply. It's about showing up and speaking when it counts. His silence defines his relationship with Belly, and in the end, it destroyed it. Jeremiah finally gets what he has been waiting for. Throughout the series, he has been clear, open, and consistent about his feelings for Belly. Unlike Conrad, he never left her guessing. He loved her out loud, without hesitation. In episode 8, all of that patience pays off when Belly chooses him. But while his win feels satisfying, it also comes with complications. Deep down, Jeremiah knows Belly still carries feelings for Conrad. He can see it in her hesitation, in the way she looked at Conrad before turning toward him. That awareness creates a shadow over his happiness. Yes, he's chosen, but is he chosen fully? That question will linger in his heart moving forward, and it could create cracks in their relationship later on. Still, Jeremiah's victory here is a validation of the love he's always given freely. For once, he isn't the second choice. Other characters, the ripple effect of Belly's choice touches everyone else too. Laurel, Belly's mom, has always been cautious about the love triangle. She knows how messy it can get, and she knows the pain that comes when relationships cross family lines. Belly choosing Jeremiah means Laurel now has to watch her daughter date one brother while the other carries heartbreak. Stephen, Belly's brother, also feels the tension. He cares for both Conrad and Jeremiah, and seeing them divided by love for Belly puts him in a difficult place. Even Susannah's absence is felt here. If she were alive, she would have been the one to guide them all through this chaos. Her memory is a silent presence in the summer house, making the decision feel heavier and more final. In the end, this episode shows that choices in love aren't just about romance. They're about identity, timing, and growth. Belly has grown into someone who wants clarity. Jeremiah has proven the value of loyalty and openness. Conrad has learned, painfully, that waiting too long can mean losing everything. These character shifts set the stage for a future filled with both hope and heartbreak. And they make the ending of episode 8 more than just a romantic decision. It's a life-changing moment for everyone involved. The ending of Season 3, Episode 8 is more than just a romantic decision. It's layered with themes of change, loss, and the painful beauty of growing up. To really understand why the final scene hits so hard, we need to look at the symbolic choices the writers made, and what it all means for the story moving forward. The summer house as a symbol. The setting of the summer house has always been more than a backdrop. From the first season, it represented childhood innocence, family unity, and the place where Belly's dreams about love first took shape. By the time we reach this finale, the house transforms into something else. It becomes a reminder that nothing stays the same forever. The house is tied to Susannah's memory, to Belly's first love with Conrad, and to countless summers of laughter. When Belly makes her choice here, she isn't just choosing Jeremiah. She's closing a chapter of her life that belongs to her childhood, and that shift is one of the most powerful symbols of the episode. The house isn't just walls and memories, it's a metaphor for moving forward. Even when it hurts. Summer, as a metaphor for love, the show has always tied the idea of summer to love, bright, fleeting, unforgettable. In episode 8, we see that theme come full circle. Belly's summers with Conrad were passionate but temporary, like the season itself. They were beautiful, but they couldn't last. Jeremiah, on the other hand, represents something beyond summer, something she can take into the rest of the year, something steady. By ending this season with her choice, the writers are saying that Belly has grown past summer love into something more enduring. But of course, the bittersweet truth is that even steady love comes with complications. The importance of timing. One of the clearest themes in this ending is timing. Conrad's love was always real, but his hesitation cost him everything. Jeremiah's love was always there, but it took years for Belly to see it fully. Episode 8 shows us that love isn't just about feeling deeply, it's about speaking and acting at the right time. Belly chooses Jeremiah not only because she loves him, but because he showed up when she needed him most. The tragic beauty of Conrad's arc is that sometimes, no matter how much you feel, if you wait too long, you lose your chance. Unanswered questions for the future. Even though the finale gives us a choice, it doesn't tie everything up neatly. In fact, it leaves us with even more questions. Belly has chosen Jeremiah, but will her unresolved feelings for Conrad create cracks in that relationship? Will Conrad move on? Or will his regret linger into the next chapter of their lives? Can Belly and Jeremiah's romance survive, knowing it started in the shadow of Conrad's heartbreak? And how will the family dynamic survive when one brother has Belly while the other has to watch from the sidelines? These questions create the perfect setup for a potential season 4. While season 3 closes one door, it clearly opens another. If the series follows the book's arc, we know the story is far from over. Belly's decision here might not be her final one, and Conrad's silence in this episode could be the beginning of a bigger transformation for his character. The writers deliberately left space for growth, conflict, and resolution in the future. Final meaning of the ending. What makes this ending powerful is that it's not just about romance, it's about growing up. Belly isn't a little girl dreaming about summer anymore. She's a young woman making choices that hurt, choices that will shape the rest of her life. Conrad learns the cost of hesitation. Jeremiah learns the complexity of being chosen but not fully free of his brother's shadow. And Belly learns that love is beautiful, but it's never simple. The season closes on a bittersweet note: warmth for Jeremiah, heartbreak for Conrad, and a heavy truth for Belly. It reminds us that summer always ends, but what comes after can be just as important. The story doesn't give us perfect happiness, gives us something more real: the complicated, messy, and unforgettable journey of first love, family, and growing up. The ending of Season 3, Episode 8, wasn't just about who Belly chose. It was about heartbreak, growth, and a moment that could change the future of every single character. If you thought this was just another love triangle conclusion, think again, because the writers left us with more questions than answers. Episode 8 of the summer. I Turned Pretty. Season 3 takes us right back into the storm of emotions that has been building all season. From the very beginning, we can feel the tension between Conrad, Jeremiah, and Belly reaching a point where something has to give. For weeks, fans have been debating whether Belly's heart would lean toward her first love, Conrad, or if she would finally commit to Jeremiah, the one who has always been steady and open with her. By the time we reach Episode 8, all of that slow burn comes to the surface. The summer house, which has always been a symbol of family, love, and bittersweet memories, becomes the stage for these choices. Belly walks into this episode carrying the weight of not just her feelings, but also the grief, change, and transitions around her. Losing Susannah's presence still lingers in every room, every look, and every memory the characters share. It's not just about love, it's about growing up and realizing that some summers never come back. We see Conrad struggling in his own way. He has always been the guarded one, the boy who hides behind silence and sharp words because he doesn't know how to let people in. Episode 8 reminds us of this when he tries, yet again, to show Belly that he still cares, but it always seems too late or too complicated. His hesitation and his timing have always been his greatest weaknesses, and, in this episode, those flaws show in painful clarity. Jeremiah, on the other hand, represents the opposite energy. He is open, he is warm, and he never makes Belly guess how he feels. His love is right there in front of her, without any walls or secrets. Episode 8 makes this even clearer as Jeremiah continues to step up, proving that he's willing to fight for Belly in a way Conrad never could. Where Conrad is quiet, Jeremiah speaks. Where Conrad holds back, Jeremiah dives in. That contrast is what makes this finale so powerful and so difficult. But this episode isn't just about who Belly loves. It's also about the people around her and how their relationships shape the summer house story. Laurel, Belly's mom, continues to play a quiet but strong role. She is the reminder that love is complicated, messy, and never simple, no matter your age. Laurel's perspective adds depth, showing Belly that choices are rarely black and white. Then there's Stephen, who, in his own way, balances the heavy emotions with moments of humor, while also reminding us how much the Fisher and Conklin families are tied together. The episode builds slowly toward its ending, giving us scenes of longing, tension-filled conversations, and flashbacks that remind us why the love triangle matters so much. Belly remembers the first kiss with Conrad, the gentle promises with Jeremiah, and the summers that felt endless. By episode 8, all of these memories weigh on her as she stands at a crossroads. This recap makes one thing clear: this isn't just about choosing between two brothers. It's about Belly stepping into adulthood, learning what love means, and facing the truth that some choices will leave someone broken. By the time we reach the final act of episode 8, all the emotions, fights, and fragile hopes collide into one of the most emotional endings of the season. The final moments of episode 8 are filled with tension, silence, and emotions that words barely capture. Everything that had been building since the first episode of the season comes crashing down here. The love triangle between Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah stops being a slow-burn question and turns into a decision, one that feels permanent even if it's not spoken aloud in a dramatic speech. It begins with the quiet. Belly stands in the summer house, looking at the place that has been her second home since she was a child. The camera lingers on her face, and we see the conflict written all over it. She knows what she wants, but she also knows what it will cost. Choosing one brother means hurting the other, and no matter what, things will never be the same again. The writers make sure we feel that weight before a single word is spoken. Conrad tries, one last time, to open up. He approaches Belly, his voice soft, almost breaking. For a moment, he drops the walls he's built for years. He tells her what he should have said long ago, that he has always loved her, that he has never stopped. But it comes out too late. His timing, once again, betrays him. You can see in Belly's eyes that part of her has always wanted this, always longed for Conrad, to be honest. Yet, at the same time, you see the exhaustion. She's tired of waiting for him to choose her fully, tired of his hesitation and his fear. This is the moment where the dream of Conrad, the boy she fell for, collides with the reality of Conrad, the boy who couldn't be what she needed when she needed him most. Then Jeremiah enters, and the contrast couldn't be clearer. Where Conrad hesitates, Jeremiah speaks with clarity. He doesn't beg or demand. He simply shows, once again, that his love has been steady and unwavering. The writers give him lines that remind Belly and the audience that love isn't always about the dramatic cinematic gestures. Sometimes it's about being there, showing up and choosing someone every single day. His presence feels like safety, warmth, and stability in a storm that has been brewing for too long. The moment of decision isn't loud. It isn't filled with shouting or grand speeches. Instead, it's quiet, intimate, and almost painfully realistic. Belly doesn't scream out her choice. She doesn't make a long declaration. She simply turns toward Jeremiah, and in that small, almost understated action, the choice is made. She chooses the boy who has been steady, who has waited, and who has loved her without conditions. But the heartbreak of this ending comes in the way the camera lingers on Conrad. He doesn't fight, he doesn't chase after her. He just stands there, shoulders heavy, eyes full of regret. For once, he doesn't hide behind sarcasm or silence. He lets the pain show, and it's almost unbearable to watch. The boy who had her heart first, the one who had every chance, finally speaks when it's already too late. It's not just Belly walking away, it's the end of a chapter that has defined their summers for years. The symbolism of the setting makes the moment even stronger. The summer house, once filled with laughter and innocence, now becomes a place of endings. It's no longer just about childhood memories. It's about growing up, making choices, and leaving things behind. The music swells softly in the background, not dramatic but bittersweet, underscoring the quiet tragedy of the moment. The episode ends not with triumph, but with a bittersweet sense of finality. Belly has made her choice, Jeremiah holds her hand, and Conrad watches from a distance. 3 lives forever changed in a single summer evening. And though it feels like an ending, it's clear the story isn't over, it's just moving into a new, even more complicated chapter.